Video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get unlimited business funding, and we're starting right now. All right, guys. So as you can see, you got my little presentation up here. Unlimited business funding, got some fancy things coming out here. But here is the deal. So the goal is to get as much funding as possible. Now, in order to do that, you need to have certain things in place in order to get that. And I'm going to go over that exactly in this presentation. Make sure you stay all the way to the end so you don't miss any gems. You don't miss any gems. Guys, let me know in the comments if this is your first time here. Welcome to my channel where we talk about leveraging credit to create cash flow. We talk about business and we talk about finance. Let me just get ready here. All right. So first thing you need to become fundable. What does that mean? What does that entail? You need to have a great credit. But other than great credit can mean a 720, right? But it's not an optimized personal credit. You need to have high limits on the personal side, 10,000 and plus. 10,000 plus, because what lenders look for on the business side is comparable credit from the personal side to the business. If you have a $5,000 personal credit card, why would they give you, if you have a $2,000 personal credit card, why would they give you 50,000 on the business side? Doesn't make sense. So you want to have high limits on the personal side. Navy Federal, they give out high limits. Credit unions give out high limits, but you also want to mix in some big banks, Bank of America, Chase, American Express, and get high limits on that personal side. That way, translate to the business side. You need to have 10 primary accounts. Fun fact, you need a minimum of 21 accounts to get a perfect score, a minimum of 21 total accounts. So the people who say you shouldn't have too many accounts on your credit profile, they don't know what they're talking about. You need a minimum of 21 accounts to get a perfect score of 850. You obviously need a business entity, a LLC, and an EIN. I have videos on how you can do that, so I'm not going to go through that step by step. So just have an LLC and get an EIN. Then what you need a proper LLC structure and compliance. You need LLC with an EIN. You need to be in a low risk industry, something that is not high risk, so you don't get denied or you don't get as much funding. And you need aged LLC, 2 years plus, and multiple LLCs. I talk about stacking LLCs and aging your LLCs, and the reason I'm going to talk about this in the presentation is because with age LLC 2 years and more, you get bigger limits with business lines of credit, which are better than business credit cards. A business line of credit stands for a block, or a business line of credit is a block. And that's basically cash in the bank. It works like a credit card. It's a revolving line of credit. You use it, you pay it back. You use it, you pay it back until that term ends. And the great thing about that is straight cash in the bank. You get a $50,000 business line of credit. You get that deposited into your check. You don't have to get creative and try to liquidate credit cards. But I do have, there's ways to get liquidated credit cards, but a business line of credit is straight cash in the bank. And you need multiple LLCs because we're going to go for multiple rounds of funding, and I'm going to explain what that is in this presentation as well. So make sure you stay all the way through. All right. Then you need strategic. You don't need all the banking relationships. You need strategic banking relationships with banks that offer high limit credit cards and blocks with no financials. And you can do that with, there's 3 tiers of banks. There's local credit unions, regional banks, and national banks. And you want to build banking relationships with certain banks, not all the banks, certain banks, and you want to start building relationships that can benefit you the most compared to other ones that don't offer the same products as the ones we're going to be targeting. So that's what is important: strategic banking relationships. Then what you want is bank deposit seasoning, funding bank accounts with large deposits, constant deposits, anywhere between 1 to 3 months. The reason is because every bank has an internal rating, internal bank score. The larger deposits you have in your bank account on a 3 months average, the higher likelihood you get approved for any business product, the higher likelihood you get approved for higher limits on the business credit card and the business line of credit. So you want to apply for business credit cards and business lines of credit. Once seasoning, you should get definitely higher limits, 25K minimum plus, and blocks 50K plus. It just increases your bank rating. Just keep that in mind. Banks like to see seasoned accounts with a lot of deposits, a lot of transactions, 30, 20, 10, 15,000 on average in that bank account. And they like to see some history because they like to see that you're using that bank. That increases your relationship with them and increases your likelihood of approvals and higher limits. That's most important. Higher limits. You want the higher limits so you don't have to do so many inquiries, so many bank accounts. You want higher limits so you limit the amount of inquiries and you limit the amount of bank accounts you need to open and banking relationships you need to create. That's why it's important to do that. And that's why I said strategic. All right. And then what you're going to do, you're going to go, you're going to go for rounds of funding. You're going to apply for regional banks. There's 3 tiers of banks: regional, national, and small. You can apply for, let's say, a regional bank that's only in a certain region. You're going to apply for 3 to 5 products, business credit cards, basically. And you're going to apply for 2 to 3 banks in that region. And you're going to apply for multiple credit cards that same day or within a weekend. In other words, if you can do it online, you apply online. If you can do it in the branch, if you have to do it in the branch, do it in the branch. Spend a weekend, spend a day applying for multiple products in 2 to 3 different banks. That way you can get a large amount of funding within that first round. A round of funding is when you just apply for a bank and multiple products. You go for a round of funding, basically, a round of money, and you're trying to get as many banks as you can and as many business credit card products that you can from that particular bank. Then what you want to do after you do a round of funding, you want to remove the inquiries. Go for another round of funding as soon as inquiries are removed. This is the most underrated part of the process. Why? Because if you have 6 inquiries and you apply for a business credit card, you might get denied just off that inquiry. You might have the best credit score, but if you have too many inquiries, you look credit thirsty. Lenders, I had a lender literally tell me, "Why do you have so many inquiries? Why are you applying for so much credit? What do you need the money for? What's wrong?" Like, they start to panic because you look thirsty. So you look credit thirsty. They want to lend out to people who don't actually need the money. To say that again, they like to lend out to people who don't need the money. So you want to appear to them that you don't need the money. So depending on how quickly you can get those inquiries removed, obviously Experian is the easiest. TransUnion and Equifax, you can get them removed. However, they take a long time. So they're being a real pain in the ass. When you call in to try to get them removed, you have to do this whole process. Experian, you can do it over the phone within 24 to 72 hours, usually 24 hours. I have a video on that. Make sure you check that out. But you want to remove the inquiries depending on the bureau they pull from. So this is critical because, again, you don't want to have too many inquiries when you apply for the business credit card products from the banks. Then, after you do that, each round of funding, you should get approvals anywhere between, on average, 10 to 25,000. That's a low. 10,000 is relatively low. You get 2 to 3 business products, total of 30,000, because you're applying for 2 to 3 different banks, 3 to 5 different business credit cards or business products like a business line of credit. If you have a age LLC, you should get relatively minimum of 30,000 on the conservative side. 2 to 3 business products, total of 10,000 each. That's very conservative. You should probably get, if you really average it out, $15,000 approvals if your score is there and in place and you have all the other data points. But I'm just being conservative. So each round of funding, you can get 30,000. Now, here's the benefit of funding, of a round of funding. A round of funding, you can do unlimited because it really depends on the inquiries, right? It all really depends on the inquiries because they don't know. A bank doesn't know that you applied for, they don't know you applied for a regional bank. A small credit union, they don't know you applied for a regional bank, right? So you can go unlimited funding as quickly as you can get those inquiries removed because they don't have like this database where, oh, he applied last week for this product. We don't, so just keep that in mind. And then business lines of credit blocks, these are great. These are higher approvals, typically minimum of 25,000 all the way up to 50,000. Straight cash in the bank. The same principles apply. You want to do 2 to 3 apps per tier. So you have regional banks. You can apply for their business lines of credit in that tier. The regional bank tier, you can apply for 2 to 3 different banks for business lines of credit that offer that. Then a local bank. If they offer business lines of credit, you want to apply 2 to 3 different banks locally. And regional banks. If you have an age LLC, you can apply for a Bank of America, Chase. If you have an age LLC, you can apply for the national banks. So each tier, you would apply for 2 to 3 business lines of credit, right? So if they're giving you a minimum of 25,000 in one round of funding, if your LLC is aged, you should be able to get, let's just be conservative, right? 2 applications, 2 different banks from a regional bank. and you get 25,000, 25,000. That's 50,000 just off a block. You can apply for a business credit card. You can get 25,000 there from 2 different banks. That's 100,000 right there. That's just one LLC. And I'm going to get to the LLC stacking in the next slide, but that's just one LLC. That's just one round of funding. Guys, let me know in the comments if I'm dropping some gems here. Let me know in the comments. Drop a gem emoji in the comments. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. That way you get notified whenever I post a new video. Also, smash that like button. Smash that like button. And don't forget to join the free private Facebook group. Link in the description, where we talk about business lines of credit. We talk about business credit, personal credit. We talk about leveraging credit to create cash flow. All right, so LLC stacking. It go together with rounds of funding. So you have one LLC. You're going to go for one round of funding. Get the inquiries removed. You can go for another round of funding with another LLC that you have. You know all the data points. You should be able to get approved for either the same amount or a similar amount. Again, you're going to apply with the LLC since you know all the data points. Each LLC can get you 30 to 50K rounding per round with just business credit cards. That's not including business lines of credit. Again, blocks. Business lines of credit, because business lines of credit are higher approval amounts. Typically minimum of 25,000 up to 50,000. If you can get 50,000 in two, you can get 50,000 per LLC. You have 2 to 3 LLCs. You get 150,000 just off a business line of credit, and that's just one bank. That's just one bank. One bank, right? You can do regional banks. You could do small banks. You could do national banks. A total of 150,000 per round of funding, if including age LLCs, because of the blocks and business credit cards, and each tier and multiple LLCs. Guys, let me know in the comments if I'm dropping some gems, if I'm providing some sort of value. I am not charging you for this information. People have $1,000, $2,000 courses charging you for this stuff, and I'm giving away for free. Guys, let me know in the comments if I'm dropping some gems. Also, join my free Facebook group. Link in the description. That's my time. My name is Toby Rosario. Peace.